Yeah, I'd have shanked her too.
So Game of Thrones has finally come to an end, and for the final time, they have subverted everyone's expectations by making it bad.
I'd love to say that there's a lot to say about this episode, but let's be frank here. Most of it is dialogueless and just kind of walking. Morning, sir. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, don't you think? Great day for a stroll. I mean, come on. How much did we have to drink last night? And this shot is absolutely beautiful, but come on, let's be honest here. We know they're just auditioning for Star Wars and want to have great cinematography. I mean, we can look at it, and D&D obviously are using this as their big audition tape and saying, hey, look, Disney, this is what we can do. Let's take a look at one scene in particular.
The end of a regime.
Sanahan, Reshi Sandali. Shafka Adrevish Dozge
Moment. In a system far from here, the new republic
Shafka Adrevish Okwenegin Mori.
lies to the galaxy while secretly supporting the treachery. Machine which you have built, upon which we stand, will bring an end.
Deremi Rosse Istat. In Vabatolvio Viho Beoldi Davende.
Bow to the First Order, and will remember this as the last day of
Vabatolvio Viho Ninrondire Derat. Tolvrio Pregelat.
I know. Pretty heavy-handed, but hey, at least the space Nazis had better uniforms.
You committed treason.
I freed my brother.
At this point in time, a little bit of freedom from the show seems like a little bit of a good thing. The most confusing part, though, is that Tyrion knows that she's evil. Why would he wander straight into that and just let himself get captured and killed? It seems like, he might tell her something like, I don't know. Hey, I understand. You had to do it. And maybe try to shank her later. Nope, it's just throw me in a dungeon. Hey, though, it's not like Jon would just be all oblivious to that and everything, right? Yeah, it about murders what's left of his character. But hey, we actually have to have Arya remind Jon that he's supposed to do the right thing. Man, she's getting pretty sneaky.
She's everyone's queen now.
Try telling Sansa.
Thankfully, Tyrion actually gets to remind Jon what he's supposed to do. Finally.
My father was an evil man. My sister was an evil woman. Pile up all the bodies of all the people they ever killed. There still won't be half as many as our beautiful queen slaughtered in her...
You left her no choice.
The moment the gates fell, the battle was over.
She saw her friend beheaded. She saw her dragon shot out of the sky.
And she burned down a city for it. Love is more powerful than reason. We all know that. It's a terrible thing I'm asking. It's also the right thing.
Jon was apparently very bad at Don't Wake the Dragon. The most disappointing part of all this is that Dany never actually sits on the Iron Throne. She's been waiting for this almost her whole life, and yet she never actually sits down. Even I'd sit down. Look, do we need to get Chris Hansen in here to show her how it's done?
Necessary. Have you been down there? Have you seen children, little children burned?
Make some perfect dragon fodder, right, boys?
This whole reason. It has been from the beginning, since you were a little boy with a bastard's name. And I was a little girl who couldn't count to 20.
Yes, that's an actual line. That she can't count and he was a bastard. That makes them very compatible. Yep.
And always.
Things that must be done because you won't give your aunt any of the D. And she goes crazy. Now I love this. It's like Drogon came in because his spider sense was tingling. Ugh, something must be wrong. Hey, it's that look like, you gonna eat that? The best part is Drogon gets all pissed off, like he thinks that the chair is the knife's parents or something. You killed my mother. Now, prepare to die. And he takes off all Poochie style like, and my planet needs me. I must go now. Look on Jon's face though. Man, I'd be pissed too if that dragon stole my dagger. The best part is everybody decides to resolve everything with a nice Entmoot. Yep. That's where we're going. For the Entmoot, we're given a lot of talk about how stories are what's important, and that's what really drives everybody. Nobody actually tries to go for anything themselves other than, well, Edmure, and we can see how that turns out for him.
I don't
Uncle.
understand.
Please sit.
The story. And Bran the Broken.
Yeah, that look on all their faces was exactly what we were thinking too.
Bran has no interest in ruling, and he can't father children.
Hey, that's fantastic. Look at my brother. His dick doesn't work. Did I tell you you look beautiful on your wedding night? One of the biggest things that I hear from everybody is that everybody's acting in character, and that's completely untrue. The North decides to leave, and somehow the Ironborn and Dorne are both okay with staying. That makes absolutely no sense. Every Tuesday they have to put down a Greyjoy rebellion, and the Martell's words were unbent, unbowed, unbroken. Hell, if you were going to pick a time to actually have an open rebellion, right now where the crown is at its weakest is probably the best time. I mean, what are they going to do? Start another war? They offer the Unsullied the ability to make their houses in the Reach, despite the fact that they're all eunuchs and can't actually father any children. But the bigger problem is, if the Reach is completely uninhabited and there's nobody to grow their food, they're in a serious amount of trouble. Ah, well, the Unsullied decide to go and piss off to Noth anyways. Never mind the giant evil butterflies. So we cut back to a new small council scene with Tyrion as the Hand again, and he sets up everything. But wait, Sam's become the Grand Maester in like 15 seconds? Yeah, that's not good. And somehow they gave Bronn, the lecherous man, the keys to all the coin in the kingdom. Yeah, I guess. Show decides to go all meta and present Tyrion with a Song of Ice and Fire, which Tyrion is conspicuously left out of. Gee, I guess they're going to have to try and explain how Tywin died some other way. More importantly, Bran can't even seem to be bothered to rule. He'd rather go hunt for dragons. Yep, really effective ruler. Glad they laughed at that whole democracy thing. Brienne decides that she's going to update Jaime's entry in the King's Guard's journal, and $20 says that she says he has a tiny dick. For our grand finale, we've decided to intermingle the shots of all the Starks left over. And what we see is that Arya is going to board a ship just like she was Arya Greyjoy. Sansa finally gets to be the queen that she's always wanted, and Jon decides he's buggering off back to the Wall. Isn't this all what we wanted? At least he pets the dog this time. Hey, there's some fan service for you guys. We close out with a final shot of Jon ranging forth against the wall. But wait a second, why are they even in the north? Why is there a Night's Watch anyways? There's no more White Walkers, and, well, they're kind of friends with the wildlings now. And more importantly, they are heading north during winter, which we've already been told by Qhorin and everybody else that it's pretty much suicide to go north during winter, but, well, I guess nobody could be bothered to remember that, eh? Look at that. All those kids and people that you see right there. Yeah, they're all going to die. Starve to death or freezing to death. Isn't that a fun way to end the series? Of all the ways that they could have chosen to end the series, pretty much anything other than this would have been great. Nobody wanted to see Bran on the Iron Throne, and even just a stock standard ending for any sort of fantasy thing would have gotten a lot less people's panties in a bunch. For a series that really intended on tearing down tropes, the only trope that it seems to have brought up is the new one of subverting everybody's expectations, and I gotta be honest, at this point in time, I'm a little tired of having my expectations subverted. I would have infinitely preferred a bog standard fantasy ending to one where, well, not much really happens. I mean, Bran the Broken, it's kind of like it broke the series, almost like it's a metaphor for the series itself. Wow, I don't think they planned it to be that way, but seems like the way they went. And that's it, guys. The last of Game of Thrones. It's kind of a depressing ending for such a great show that everybody had. Well, if you have any comments, let me know in the comments, and like, share, subscribe, I guess. Thank you so much.